Okay, guys, we are going to check on our hot frog today, but we have feedings to do, but most importantly, we're going to try something different, inspired by our friends over at Nana's Worm and Garden. I'll link to her channel down below, but she had put some toilet paper rolls in her worms, and, it takes a long time to break down, but I was like, we had, unfortunately, a camel drink all the water. It's okay. We unfortunately had a leak under one of our sinks. And of course, that's, where a lot of the toilet paper is stored. And so we lost a lot of toilet paper that we had been storing in there. So some of them went into the tumbler. Some of them were just, beyond gross. We ended up tossing it. But I have a few more. And I thought, we're only using one active layer of the Hot Frog. This one's prepped because, the coconut coir is split between the two. So the bottom two layers are completely empty. And normally we put shredded bedding and whatnot in the very, very bottom in case any liquid gets down there. And I just didn't get that far yet. So we're going to be putting the shredded bedding in the bottom. And that's going to, 1, absorb any extra moisture, just in case, and 2, if worms fall all the way to the bottom for some reason, they won't immediately starve. They will have some food that won't attract any bugs. So, shredded paper, toilet paper in one of the rolls, and things here, in the layers, and then possibly feeding. But we'll check on the worms and see where they're at. If we feed them, I have these very old toilet paper rolls that have been frozen for a while, and we're going to use those because I need to empty out my freezer. So let me start breaking this apart, and I will show you guys what we do. You hear crunching. It's Wally nomming away at breakfast several hours late. We're pretty much at a brunch state at this point, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And if you guys are wondering where Moose is, he's at his best friend's house having a play date. In hindsight, I forgot to check this before I started again. So are these worms just random stragglers that were stuck from last time and that's why they're dried out? I don't know. I feel kind of bad, but they look like they've been decomposing for a little bit, so I don't think they're fresh, but sorry, wormers. So here we go. We'll put some bedding in. This is just, there's a little bit of shredded paper, there's a little bit of shredded cardboard, there's some random things, and then I'm gonna put these in just because I have them, and I don't know, they were already cut in one of my bags, so I was just like, well, cardboard. Worms like cardboard. Wally, you need to check? Wally's coming over. Yeah, okay. Thanks for checking it, big fella. I don't know if you guys ever noticed it, but Wally, he's only about 65 pounds, and he's big boy, big fella, because he's the oldest, and Moose, who is 90 pounds, we call him little one still, because technically he was little for like a month or two, but he responds to little one, and if I say, hey, big guy, well, it will respond, but if I say, hey, little one, or come on, little one, Moose is like, oh, that's me, gotta go, mom's calling me. So, fun fact about the puppies. Excuse me, I gotta put these in on me. All right, you can check that out, I guess. All right, so this is technically the bottommost tier. Also, in hindsight, I've not rearranged the tiers based on the numbers. I don't know if you guys can, well, you probably can't see, but there's a 1 on that far end. We had labeled all the tiers previously to keep track of them, but, sometimes it just doesn't work out. So, let's put, ooh, I like this. What do you think, Wally? Now, Nana's Worm and Garden, where, like I said, she was the lady that I got this idea from, so all the credit goes to her. She did say that it's going to take a while to break down, and to be honest, that's fine. I just don't want to store them forever, and I don't know, if it takes a while, it takes a while, but also I might be using a little bit less bedding, so we'll see. I'm not going to worry about filling all the holes with beddings, but I figured I have this shredded paper available right now, and it's not like, obviously there's not going to be worms in here, but I'm thinking in the off chance that over time stuff drips down or worms fall through the cracks or you know, not even fall. They're curious. They want to explore. I just want to give them a spot to live. And so we'll have this ready for them. And it'll have time to pick up the microbes and stuff over time. So here's one layer. And let's work on the next one. In case you guys want to know why I have a weird angle. Wally finished his snacks and was like, I'm going to stay and hang out with Mom. Wally, are you cute? I think you're pretty cute. You give us love? Aw, thank you. You sweet boy. We'll give you love. We love you, Wally. Look at that nose. It's so boopable. Boop. Okay. All right, back to worms. Interesting. So this doesn't quite lay all the way flush because the toilet paper is getting hooked by these little, I don't know, the little passageways. So here's hoping over time it will squish down. But that makes me think for the next one, should we pre-smush them and put them this way? Ooh. I don't know if that's how it works. I also have this one that's like, it's just one of those one-off ones. I think when everybody was panicking about toilet paper shortages. So we'll just put this in here. I let these dry out a little bit before I put them in here because I just wanted to make sure, like some of them full on molded because they got so wet. So I just want to make sure I'm not actively adding black mold or something to my bin because we don't need that. I spent enough time in the hospital recently. I don't need more. All right. Did we make a mess? Yes. Was it preventable? Also yes. But, you know, that's okay. All right. So, we're not adding moisture to this because this is going to be our moisture control. Hopefully. Now let's put the rest of the frog together. All right, let's check on our worms. This is going to be the first check-in since we started this again. Okay, we got one little guy on the cover. Oh, we got a few. Nope, I stand corrected. We got a few on the corner edges. All right, cool. I'm just gonna, these look like babies. Some of these look really young, which is good. We would like the babies. That's why we're doing this, for this is our breeder bin. They have plenty of room to expand, because for those of you who are new to the Hot Frog or worm composting in general, vermicomposting, if these, you don't have to manage the, I guess the population, if you will, of the worms. They will self-regulate. So if there's too many worms and not enough space, they'll just stop reproducing. So that's why when you watch some of the videos on how to get more worms on your own, a lot of people recommend dividing the worms periodically. And so, like, let's say this, when this bin gets really full, we're gonna take half of the worms, put them in the next tier, and leave half of them in here, and then we'll have two running, and then, you know, the cycle just kind of continues like that. And it takes a while. I think, you know, some people say they can double in population potentially every 3 to 6 months. I think that's a little bit on the low end, to be honest. I'm sure I'm just not as astute of a counter or whatever as some people do, and maybe in commercial settings they can reproduce that quickly. I haven't found that to be the case personally, but still, growth is growth. So we know that we put some worms in here. When we can see them in here, you can see them trying to get away from the light. They don't like this, and I don't blame them. It's bright light here in Florida. So they're doing good. They've already started, you know, getting comfy in here. I feel good about the consistency of the bedding and everything. It doesn't look too wet. I can trowel through it gently without any harsh movements. So let's give them a feeding. Let's feed our babies. We are going to use the toilet roll method because we're going to do an underfeeding instead of overfeeding to help prevent any, oh, Wally stretched out and kicked it. So this is going to help prevent anything from hopefully attracting any bugs or anything we don't want. So this is an example. So this is just a Tupperware that I leave in my chest freezer. And I have used toilet paper rolls, and I apparently past me rolled up some bananas. It looks like there's a grape, maybe some shredded carrots. And so what this does is I'm putting it in the top right corner. And what that's going to do is kind of help protect and cover the food. So that way, if any flies or anything got in here, it would be a little bit more of an effort for them to get to it. But then see how we bury it? So now it's got extra layers of protection. And yeah, you can't even see where it was, can you? No, pretty great. Okay. Whoa. Okay. So this is going to run in this bin and be processed over the course of the next 2 weeks. And it'll be a very slow buildup in here as the worms start growing in size and population. So that's fine. Slow and steady is not as fun and glamorous, especially if you're new and you want to just put all of your food scraps in. To be honest, I've been doing this for over a year, probably closer to 2 or 3 years, I guess, at this point. It's me and my husband, and I like to think we eat pretty healthy, and we still, between when we had our Hot Frog running and my urban worm bag, granted not fully up to speed, but close, we still could not keep up with all of the food scraps and paper waste and everything. So it takes time, it takes time, and we didn't maximize the number of worms or anything we had, but it's a long-term project, unless you want to go fully all out at the beginning and spend a lot of money on worms, which the hesitation I have recommending that to people is, if you don't know what you're doing, that could be a very expensive oopsie. So you might as well do slow and steady, learn what not to do, and then that way you can expand when you feel more comfortable. So those are today's tips in today's feeding. And again, thank you to Nana for sharing the idea of putting the toilet paper in. I can tell now that the weight of the upper tiers is on. I can push down on the Hot Frog, and I'm not feeling any, give where the cushion is. So I think it's just sandwiched in enough. And I'm sure over time it'll just really compress down there. But that's pretty exciting. And that'll be interesting to see how they break down over time, especially the ones that we put sandwiched this way versus sandwiched this way. So much to look forward to make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. And I'm gonna go pet my puppy. Hello. You just napping while we're taking care of the worms? You just don't care. You're just like, Mom, I need the love. You can love the worms later. Yeah, this is Wally's only child day. We joke when his brother's at his friend's house. Wally gets to be the only child again. He gets doted on. Yeah, he gets to go to all of his favorite places. He goes to the Home Depots. He goes to the nursery. Gets all the pets. It's a hard life being the only child on Wally days. Alright, friends. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye! You say bye, Wally? No, you don't want us to go bye.